Hello everyone, Namaskar and Jai Hind, and warm greetings to everyone joining us today on LinkedIn and YouTube Live. I am Dr. Damodar Sahu, co-founder and Chief Growth Officer at Data Safeguard. It's my honor to host this very special conversation that is from battlefield to cyberfront, leadership lessons on securing India's data. Today's theme is bringing or bridging military leadership with data privacy and India's digital personal data protection, that is DPDP Act. With me today is someone who exemplifies the mindset, Colonel Deepak Joshi, a veteran of Indian Army and today a thought leader in cybersecurity and privacy governance. Welcome, Colonel Joshi.
Sir, thank you so much for your kind introduction. And it's an absolute privilege and honor to be here with a great person like you here today, sir. And while I had served for around 23 years in the Indian Army, and out of that, 2 years I have been with the United Nations, I feel, sir, that security and privacy is not just about protection. It would be appropriate if we say that they are as good as having some kind of foresight, rather a lot of foresight, lot of discipline, and lot more coordination among the various stakeholders to actually ensure that there is data privacy. And now, sir, as you have brought out in my second innings outside army, I apply these principles to safeguard the data and to ensure privacy and uphold digital trust of the citizens in a very fast moving world today, sir. And I'm excited to be here with you once again, sir. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you, Colonel Joshi. Let's talk about from uniform to firewall. So, Colonel, let's begin with your journey. You have served in high risk zones and now you're working on digital security. What leadership lesson from battlefield have stayed with you as you help secure cyberspace?
Sir, that's a very good question because when I entered into the National Defense Academy way back in 1997-98, there is a saying which is written at majority of the places, and that saying is that the more you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war. And that is apt in today's cyber threat landscape, which also affects digital privacy. Because the thing is, sir, that the kind of attacks which are coming onto the information infrastructure these days, which eventually result in data breach also, there is a lot to learn from this saying, sir, because the more you rehearse, the more red teaming, blue teaming you do, the more you train for breach response, for cyber incident response, you actually handle it better when it actually comes to you, because when it comes, then there is a lot of chaos. So it's very important to train. The more you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war, holds good here also. And the second thing which is there, that is a term called as VUCA, sir. That is volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. This is again a term which comes from battlefields, from military war zones, and that is equally good today in the cyber and digital threat landscape because there is a lot of volatility the way attack comes. There is uncertainty as to how the attacks will progress, the extent of damage it will cause, the complexity of the attacks. It is very difficult at times to ascertain what is the root cause of that, and there is ambiguity among all stakeholders as to how to handle this situation. So handling this VUCA term, which is there again from military zones,
Yeah.
that is again equally important and applicable here in the digital and the cyber threat landscape, sir. And what I feel again is missing in most of the places is the zero trust mindset in the armed forces, wherein it's not that you prove your identity at one place and then you get a free run to the crown jewels. No, you prove your identity once, then you prove your identity again, and then you get to the most sensitive zones. So that again we need to imbibe in our ethos here, in our access to various digital assets, so as to guard the data which is entrusted on us, sir. With that, I think, sir, these are the three important things which we need to get inspired when we work here, and which is present in the military scenario and needs to be brought here, sir.
I love that. Zero trust mindset with high trust teams. Like that is what at the core of what DPDP Act aims to institutionalize, right? Not just providing data, but cultivating a culture of privacy and accountability. let's talk about the DPDP Act,
Absolutely.
mission more thinking. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, Colonel Joshi.
Sir, my question, seeing your experience here, is that you've been very deeply involved in, helping the enterprises across the globe with various data privacy laws, and now you are here with DPDPA solutions also. I'll request, sir, if you can kindly break it down from a strategic point of view, sir.
Absolutely. The DPDP Act 2023 is not just a compliance checkbox. It is India's digital constitution for trust. It enshrines consent, purpose limitation, data minimization, and data subject rights. But to operationalize these, organizations must think like mission commanders, right? Like know your data terrain, identify vulnerabilities, ensure everyone understand their role. That's why we at Data Safeguard, we built ID privacy, an AI empowered platform and the most comprehensive AI powered platform on data privacy designed to align legal intent with technical enforcement. It's our way of bringing mission mode thinking to privacy readiness. It consists of 7 core tenets: privacy by design, that is UCM, Universal Consent Management, data confidential data discovery, privacy impact assessment, confidential data reduction, then your compliance audit, right? All put together, these are and data privacy management. So it's a comprehensive, it's a suite of platforms with core 7 privacy tenants and all privacy by design, and ID privacy is our product name. Thank you for asking, Colonel Joshi.
That's wonderful, sir, because it reminds me, in today's era, it's about network centric warfare. You can't just, work in one particular thing and you can, be assured that you will win the war.
Yeah.
So it's important that you address the thing in totality. And I'm glad to hear that, your solution, it's actually something like the battle is won before it's fought kind of a solution. And maybe the way you have designed it, I think it should be able to anticipate breaches while preparing the teams and also having the capability of doing audit with precision. So I think that would really be helpful to a lot of organizations, because finally it's all stakeholders which have to come together and all the domains are to be addressed equally good. So that is very nice, sir.
Thank you, Colonel Joshi. Discipline and integrity are the cornerstone of military life. How do you see these qualities translating into digital data governance, Colonel Joshi?
So that's a very nice question, because and actually these are the cornerstones of military life, and I would say rather they should be cornerstones of any life or any profession. Because sir, when we especially talk about the military, the discipline is the most important thing, and the armed forces are known for the discipline most of the time. You won't see any person from there, doing something which is not against the ethos, which is against the discipline and the laid down norms. So discipline is not just a cosmetic word for the armed forces, sir, because lack of discipline can lead to loss of life at our end also, and it can cause loss of property as well. So when you speak of discipline, sir, in army or any armed forces for that matter, I think that same kind of discipline is equally important to data governance, because when you have discipline in data governance, you automatically apply that to access control, wherein you don't by mistake also give the access, grant the access to people who are not supposed to be having it. You have proper logging, you don't slouch, and you are not negligent there. You do proper redaction, and you have the entire data lifecycle management
Yeah.
covered from end to end. And similarly, when we talk about integrity, sir, integrity is about the organization, it's about the nation, and it is for the people you are there with. So when we talk about organizations, again, integrity should be there towards the customers whose data you are safeguarding, whether it's a organization employee or it's a customer for the organization. So integrity has to be there, and it has to flow from top to bottom, sir. It's very important that the top leadership is integral and is having loyalty towards the overall ethos of the data privacy principles, sir. So that is what is my take on integrity and discipline, sir.
Absolutely. And that resonates deeply with me and we at Data Safeguard. We often say culture eats compliance for breakfast. The DPDPA can only succeed if organizations instill privacy by design, ethics by default, which is why we are advocating for cross-functional training, just like the armed forces. So every employee becomes a privacy sentinel. So let's talk about little bit on the digital Bharat needs digital
Yes, sir.
defenders. Yeah, please.
Digital Bharat is almost there now, sir. It is there, and we are pioneer in that. And coming to Digital Bharat, sir, I would actually be very curious to know that how do you, being there in US and being such a role model for many of us here, doing such a wonderful job from there. I wish to know, sir, how do you see from there how we are heading towards a sustainable, secure digital ecosystem here in the India, sir?
Thank you for asking these questions. Great question. So, as per me, India is on a bold journey from physical infrastructure to digital infrastructure, and now trust infrastructure, right? The privacy, DPDPA. So, we need startups, enterprises, and regulators and citizens align in mission. Our goal at Data Safeguard is very clear: is to co-create that ecosystem with legal tech platform, a strategic partnership like ours with many Hitachi Systems India, and Legal, and few Big Four consulting, right? And through thought leadership. But we also need digital defenders, like leaders like you, Colonel, who bring real world security thinking into the boardrooms.
Thank you, sir. So, sir, with that, I would really be, appreciate my gratitude to you and to everyone watching Privacy. I think, sir, it's a combined responsibility for all of us now, whether, people like you who are there, who are guiding various tools and softwares towards ensuring data privacy. Because, sir, I was there a few days back in a seminar, and where one of the senior most generals had said that, data is the new oil. Rather, he repeated it, it was from some other place. And when I say of that, sir, when we speak of that data, I would say is not only oil, it is the invisible spy today with us, sir. Because
Yes,
when you can control the data, you get to know the thought of a country, of a nation. And when you know thought of the nation, and you can sense what the nation is going to do ahead.
right,
So I think it is very important now to safeguard the data of an individual customer which is using a normal app to sensitive devices wherein the behavior and patterns, opinions, sentiments of the individuals are getting captured. They need to be safeguarded so as to keep the data inputs with us and not to let it out in the open domain. So with that, sir, I think that it has been a very great session with you, and it's been a lot to learn from you here and from the data safeguard community as such. And I am again very, very grateful to you for this opportunity, sir.
Colonel. Thank you very much for your service, both on the ground and now in the digital domain like cyberspace as well as the privacy space. And thank you to everyone who joined us today. If you found this conversation valuable, please like, share, comment with your thoughts. Let's build a trust fast, privacy respecting digital Bharat together. Thank you, Colonel. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir. Jain, sir.